Hello and welcome to this review, you guys. As you know, I do reviews here on this channel. I do reviews of both movies and of technological devices. And today I'm here for the first time ever to do a review of a web series. Today I'm going to look at Chep and Bep's Wacky Adventures. And the reason for this is because a little over a month ago I was contacted by Steve Morris, who is the creator of this web series, who wanted me to review it. So, Steve, this one's for you. Alright, so firstly, I just want to say that my favorite episode of this series was definitely episode 6 of season 1, which was the final episode of season 1. I really felt a much bigger emotional connection to the characters in this episode, and I think it brought Chep and Bep's friendship to a whole new level. My least favorite episode is episode 1 of season 1, and that's understandable because it was your first, and that always sucks. And the episode with the best lighting and effects were episode 4 of season 1. Now I say this because the lighting, especially the lighting, is a huge problem in the series, but I'm going to get more to that later. Quickly, I just want to put everything out on the table and say that the worst development of these characters is the high-pitched voice that they have. I get that you're trying to create a comedy series, but giving them high-pitched voices will ruin every single serious moment there ever will be in the series. Just make them have normal voices, dude. Alright, so now I want to talk a little bit about the things that I think you need to upgrade. Because the thing about it is that if you do vlogs or rants or whatever, then it is completely true that you don't need a professional camera and microphone and lighting and everything. But when you do something so important as a web series, which is kind of like a television show just on the internet, it is so important to have these things under control. So the first thing I think you need to upgrade is definitely your camera. A good idea would be to use your smartphone. Everybody these days have a smartphone and that records in 1080p and it's actually pretty good. So use that instead of that digital camera that you're probably using right now. Also, get a tripod. Throughout this entire series I haven't seen one single time where you used a tripod. So get a freaking tripod. And get a microphone. But however, a little quick tip you might want to use: whenever you're doing dialogue, then do only close-ups, because that way the camera's built-in microphone will take care of that for you and you don't have to go out and buy a microphone. But it is still a good idea to get yourself a microphone. But there's also a lot of continuity errors in this series. For example, in episode 5 of season 1, there's a fight scene where Bep is beat up, and throughout this fight scene, he all of a sudden changes his pants. The color of his pants all of a sudden changed. So I just want to say to you, your editing lacks continuity.
What do you mean my editing lacks continuity?
However, I don't know if that was on purpose, but you tell me. It didn't seem like it was, so that is why I'm pointing it out. Also, the editing is so wrong. It needs to be cut a whole lot tighter, and the thing that you're doing wrong is that whenever they have like a dialogue scene where, let's say, Chep has to say a line, if he's too slow to say it, or if he fucks up while he says it, instead of cutting it together, just redo the line. Like, seriously, redo the line instead of doing this.
Chep, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop!
I'm coming to finish.
Also, in the series, they break out of character a whole lot. What I especially mean is the film expression breaking the fourth wall, where the characters will look into the camera without it having any context for the episode. Let me give you an example. In the end bit of episode 4 of the first season, Chep talks into the camera and tells kids not to do drugs. Now that works really greatly because it's part of the context and it's kind of like a PSA kind of thing, so that works great, but you gotta really be careful with this, because if you don't do it in the right way, it will seem like the characters are breaking out of their characters, and we get the sense that it's just something that you have wrote and that it's not real, you know what I'm saying? And we're not supposed to get that feeling. That's why even in reality TV shows and all that other stuff, you won't see them look directly into the camera, mostly, unless they're doing interviews with them, because it needs to seem as real as possible. And that brings me on to a few tips and tricks that I have for you. The first one is that I definitely think you should do more scenes outside or inside by having the characters face the window. So put the camera in front of the window and have them look in the direction of the window. This will save you time and money on going out and buying expensive lighting equipment. Oh, and you want to use the handheld camera wisely. Here's a little tip I have for you. Check out this sketch video that I did called My Family Beat Up. As you see in the scene, Marcus was actually holding the camera while he was speeding up my characters. This creates a good effect because it gives just the right shakes on the camera that we want for this action-packed scene, instead of you standing on the side doing this, you know? So try to use that instead. It creates a way better effect, but, you know, that's just a tip. Also, you gotta use the right percentage on the right amount of work. In the film world, it's split up like this. 40% goes through the pre-production, which is, you know, the script writing and the storyboards and all that stuff and planning out every single, you know, scene that you have to shoot. And 30% is the actual production, like going out and actually shooting it. And 30% goes to the post-production, which is editing and all that fine-tuning stuff. So make sure you divide the work in a proper way. Use more time on the scripts and on planning out the scenes, because in the long run, it will make your series look a lot more professional and smooth. Also, here's my last tip. Try to refrain from using copyrighted music. The music is definitely the best thing about this series, and you use a lot of really great music, but a lot of it is very copyrighted. I want to tell you something. Last year, I was almost sued for $100,000 by the Union of Danish Film Directors for uploading a feature full-length film on YouTube. And trust me, the record labels, they will not be as kind to you. They will sue the shit out of you, so be careful of this. You might want to try using YouTube's audio library. They have over 150,000 songs and special effects and all that you can use for free, and it's not copyrighted, so go check it out. Alright, so now I want to talk about some things that I actually liked about the series, because there were a lot of things that I really liked. I'm going to go over these really quickly, so let's get started. Number one is that I really like the montages that is put throughout the episodes. It is amazingly put together, so please use your editing skills. I also really like the collaboration with Mr. 3D Person. That was just way too hilarious. I also really liked the title sequence for the entire season 2. That was really well put together, man. I gotta give it to you. And the bloopers in the end of some of the episodes were absolutely hilarious. You should definitely make a blooper reel. And I really like the acting, especially in the first part of Battle of the Bands. Justin and Tim are actually pretty good actors if they want to take it seriously enough. I also really like the recaps that were in this episode, the Battle of the Bands. I think personally that you should do a recap of every single episode, because that lets the viewer know exactly what you were trying to say with this episode and actually what was the premise of the episode and all that. So you might want to try doing that. I also really liked learning more about Bep's past in Canada, and I really think you should expand upon the past of these two characters. Create some crazy past for them and evolve into it in the episodes. That would be amazing to see. I also really like all the dialogue throughout Season 2, Episode 5, Chep's Child. I thought that was really hilarious when they bullied Bep and all that stuff. It was hilarious. And of course, the last thing that I really enjoyed throughout the series is definitely Chep and Bep's continued friendship. You can really feel that these two people are best friends in real life because they really work so well together. So all in all, I give this episode 2.5 out of 5 stars. That is my judgment on this, because honestly it could be a whole lot better, dude. Like seriously, it really could. But I also think there is real potential in this series, so keep expanding on it, and I personally can't wait to see Season 3. I hope you understand, Steve, that my criticism is out of love for the series, because I recognize how much effort and work you have put into this project, and that is also why I chose to review this in this video, because I really think more people need to check it out. So of course I have left the playlist to the seasons in the description. Also, Steve, I really think you're gonna go far in the filmmaker business if you just keep evolving as a film creator. So I definitely do not mean any disrespect by this review, but I had to be honest. And also, if you think I'm being harsh, then you should try being at the oral exam in film class. Like seriously. That is brutal. Alright, that's it for me this week, you guys. Thank you so much for watching my very long review of this amazing series. Be sure to go check it out, and I will see you guys next Saturday. Bye.
Hi, I'm Chep, and this is Bep.